All right, I think the recording is going now. Welcome to the Rook Community Meeting Agenda for April 16th, 2024. I think some people are out today, so it's a bit of a sparse meeting, but we'll go through it. First of all, 1.13 release. So we did have the 1.13.8 release a couple of weeks ago on the 3rd. I don't think there's anything really super important to talk about here, just our standard release. Well, I think it was about 3 weeks from the previous one, but a few fixes there. But yeah, I think that's fine to move on. The next release. So far since that release 2 weeks ago, I think there's only been one fix backported. I was just looking this morning, and it doesn't seem urgent as far as it's just an error checking thing. So probably we'll wait a couple more weeks before the next release. So I think 1.13 is entering that more of a monthly update as far as cadence. Oh, and let's look at the project board real quick. I think there's nothing really blocking release or nothing to do. Pretty much all the development efforts been moved to 1.14 unless there's a request to move things. Well, I mean, we'll still backport things to 1.13 if it feels applicable. But all the tracking issues would be in 1.14 now. Any questions about 1.13? All right. For 1.14, we did release 1.14 since our last meeting here. So that was on the 3rd. So congratulations everyone to that release. Got the release notes. Maybe just to point out some highlights. Kubernetes supported versions are from 1.25 to the latest, which 1.29, unless 1.30 I think is out any day now. I haven't seen it yet. A few other updates. Older pods are going away for people using Multus. That's an important one to look out for. And read affinity, the setting for read affinity moved into a different place in the cluster CR. And then features. We do have a new default service account for all of the Ceph daemons. That should be a seamless update at least. Some changes to pools, Ceph application can be applied. Object stores can be created with shared metadata and data pools. That's a nice enhancement for anybody using multiple object stores. Then the CSI updates for volume snapshot groups and virtual style hosting for S3 buckets. Finally getting that update to be more in line with S3 buckets. And a few other features, Azure Key Vault support, KMS, and other small things. Anyway, glad to have that release out. And well, I think we're due for a first patch release tomorrow. And I don't think I've heard of any blocking issues on 1.14 either. So this will just kind of be our first cadence to get a few fixes out there. I know this one was done actually. I'll follow up with Santosh to close that one. Lane's working through some documentation updates here. And otherwise, I think it's just one comment on Squid. I guess Squid is, I still have not seen the RC release. It's due out soon, but as soon as it comes out, we'll definitely be getting the 1.14 release cycle to support that. Otherwise, just have some standard enhancements there. Any questions around 1.14? All right, and kubectl plugin. I don't have any updates there as far as when the next release there might be. I know there's that Subham's working on some features, so probably in the next few weeks we'll be ready for the next release of those features.
That reminds me, I've been meaning to open some issues on that. I still have a few shell aliases that I use that aren't covered in the plugin yet. It might be worth doing a survey to see if there's others that are in the same situation that I am.
Are those like for some set commands that are not exposed in the plugin, like Rados Gateway Admin or those sort of things?
Yeah, I'm trying to think now what it was. I went through and I looked at this, and there was a few things that weren't covered. I don't know if I remember what they were.
Yeah, definitely it'd be great to hear feedback on what would be useful there.
Will do.
Okay. Thanks. We'll follow up then. Yeah, feel free to open issues in that kubectl plugin repo. And let's see, we should put a link to it there. But before I forget, I'll just go ahead and do it here. So kubectl's Ceph. Make it here. All right. There we go. Now, Jared said he couldn't make it today, but he was working on enabling the Slack extended app, which will be nice as far as it won't be a noticeable change for anybody joining our Slack, but it's an internal help, so we don't have to refresh our link every few months. And since we just released, we haven't really started thinking about the next 1.15 release yet or upcoming designs. We really should. I mean, I need to work on that roadmap coming up here and definitely open for input for what features are of interest. But otherwise, I think that brings us to the end of the official agenda. Any other topics to bring up? Otherwise, we'll make it a quick meeting.
Best kind.
Yes. Okay. I see a couple others joined since when I was sharing my screen, I couldn't see who was joining. So any other comments anybody has? Welcome everyone, and it seems like we're quick today.
No, I'll just say it's been a quiet meeting. I don't want you to feel like nobody's interested. I am. I just don't have any real concerns right now. I haven't started testing 1.14 yet because I still had some, as up until last week, I still had some 1.23 Kubernetes clusters, but I have now, everything is at least onto 1.25 as of last Thursday. So I'm now planning to start testing at 1.14 in my pre-production environment.
Great. I'll look forward to that feedback then. Okay. Yeah, it was nice before we released 1.14. We also had someone testing one of our new features for shared pools for object stores. So that was good to get that early feedback. So hopefully that feature is already stable as well. And yep, otherwise I think last call for topics. Welcome, Blaine. You joined just in time to have a quick finished meeting.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. I guess we'll call it good.